Alright, so this should work this time. Freaking audio issues. Alright, this is scripted and written beforehand, so Regina Revelo is the entrepreneur that I interviewed, even though technically it does not operate exactly like a business, and I think it's just more under the table kind of stuff. So I still think there's a lot to learn from this. So Regina is an immigrant from Peru, and like others, she struggled to make money without papers and with that fear of involving papers. And so at the beginning, she kind of started out working as a housekeeper and house cleaning. And that was like through networking inside the ELC Center, so English Language Center or Learning Center. And there they kind of talk, they network, they tell each other like, "Oh, this is a job that you guys can do." And so she started working for a house, and she really wanted to put a good impression first. She wanted to buy some expensive product to make sure that everything was spotless, everything was great, everything was perfect. But it started costing her money, and at the same time, she was underselling herself to a point where she would be losing more money working for them rather than like earning money. And she had to figure out how to finance her like resources. So rather than going to the expensive stuff, she went to, let's say, dollar store. She would buy 2 bottles of lime away because that would get the same job done if you use just 2 whole bottles that are cost like maybe just $2. Yeah. So after a while, she started getting enough money, and she actually landed a job that could keep her stable. And she's still working as a housekeeper for multiple houses, and like through the networking and friends, gaining more and more. She would finally buy a home, and then she finally like, yes, she always wanted to build a garden, and she built it. She started working on it. She started weeding. She started planting everything in there, and it started getting the attention of the neighbors. There, she started like, someone said like, "Hey, can you do my garden?" And they started working like that. That's how it started for her, the business that I'm interested in. She found it pretty easy. She already had the tools, she already had the know-how of like how to start. But like over time, when she would run into roadblocks, and like she would look to the professionals that she also worked with at another job. She had multiple jobs, and they would also help her out. So say a tree is dying, and then they tell her like a recipe to like put a salve on it, and she would like also get help from everyone in that job for that because they knew she was kind of at a disadvantage, and they would get some of the paperwork done for her. So she did not know like too much about like on that side of the business spectrum. So I did not learn too much from that. But she started branching out more and more, and she wanted to start giving back to the people who helped her out like at the ELC. And so she started like asking for help from other people who might need a job, might need some money, and who don't exactly have the papers to do so, like everywhere. So she would start like helping them out, and like she would only take a couple at a time, and then slowly amass like a couple more tools. That way she can give them to them, and like, all right, go clip the hedges, go do this, go do that. And she'd start leading them because they didn't know as much as she did, and they would get the job done at these houses and still get like their fair share of pay. And it's not glamorous. It doesn't make a ton of money, and it's not a business. Sometimes I don't know. I don't know if it qualifies as a business, but it's something that's kind of close to home, and something that you get to see a bit, or that I see a bit. And I think the reason why she succeeded was because she just kept on persisting. She kept on working, even though like she could have given up. She could have walked away, stopped, and just focused on her own. But then she kept on working. She wanted to make something out of just working on gardens and try to help out others get a job from it as well. And she would rely on others who would have her back and her own mentors. And she would also put in like passion and like not like half-ass anything inside that field. She would do the job and she would get her money. And yeah, hopefully the audio works this time.